Hello and welcome to another episode of Word Mentality on Grammar and Thongs, where we look at the origin of words, especially those with an unusual spelling, in the hope that you'll be able to remember how to spell it once we look at the origin. Today we're looking at the word jail, which can be spelt two different ways, this way or this way. And for Australians of a certain age, then back in school they may have had it drummed into them that they needed to spell jail, G-A-O-L. Well, is that correct? And why is there this confusion? Let's have a look at the origin of the word and see if we can work it out. So we have to go back to the Latin originally, to this word here, cavus, which meant a hollow. So cavus then became the Latin word cavea, which meant dungeon or cave, which is where we ended up with the French word cage, which is the same in English. But then another form of this word, cavea, was caviola. And here is where we start to get words that start to become recognisable to us. This in the French became gaol, and much later in Paris, jail. So gaol was sort of in the north of France, and then Parisians pronounced it this way, jail. And it's from here that we get our two versions. So they both came from the French, even though we think of the J one as kind of American and this one as English. So we've got these two words. And the sort of history from there was in Middle English, so we've got Middle English here, we ended up with gaol and jail, and then in English we end up with jail and jail. So this is the English. But normally this sort of pronunciation would be with a hard G, like Gale, but obviously jail has always been pronounced this way, which is one of the reasons why it sort of has ended up winning out. The only reason really that this spelling has hung around for so long is because it's preserved in legal documents in England and therefore in Australia as well. This spelling was preferred in legal documents and in courts. In America, in legal documents, it was spelt this way. And that's why you've ended up with a lot of Australians thinking of this spelling as an American way of spelling the word. But if you actually look back in Australian history, as far back as 1978, there was a sort of rule put in place for government documents that said the spelling of jail like that was perfectly acceptable. And if you look at the Macquarie Dictionary, which is the Australian dictionary, in the third edition in 1997, they also went with this spelling as the preferred spelling of jail. So it's the most accepted, and now it's the preferred. When you drive around Australia, you'll still see jail on some of our old sandstone jails and prisons, and so it's preserved in that way. But of course these are now called correctional facilities, so it doesn't come up officially. But suffice to say, this is the accepted spelling now. So if somebody tries to tell you that you have to spell jail, G-A-O-L, in Australia, you might want to gently push them towards the Macquarie Dictionary to have a look at the new definition in there. Thank you.